On September 25, 2019, President George Weah made clear his support for War and Economic Crimes Codes to the 74th session of the United Nations General Assembly, asking for their assistance through the process. Weah said he's listening to the rousing chorus of voices within the country, including both victims and perpetrators, who are calling for justice.
What I have discerned from their cries is that it is important to bring closure to the wounds from the 14 years of Liberia's brutal civil war, and that we need to agree on a mechanism that will guarantee the sustenance of peace, stability, justice, and reconciliation, as well as enhance our prospect for economic recovery.
The President admitted to the General Assembly to facing continuing pressure from Liberians, as well as many international actors, to set up the courts, but is wondering about the timing of the call. President Weah's latest statement comes weeks after delegates at an international economic dialogue, which he attended, called for the courts, as well as the full implementation of the TRC recommendations. The initiative was headed by Dr. Weah McIntosh. The TRC accused Dr. McIntosh and others, including former Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Liberia's ambassador to the Kingdom of Belgium, Isaac Yannibo, among others, of supporting the Liberian civil wars through their actions and bearing responsibility for the commission of gross human rights violations, international humanitarian law, domestic law, and war crimes. However, Dr. McIntosh denies the charges against him, telling us recently his rights were violated and that he was not accorded due process by the TRC as stipulated in the 1986 Liberian Constitution. Pro-War Crimes Court advocate Hassan Bedete says the TRC report may not be free from errors, but is credible. He hails President Weah's action as well as his request to the UN and calls on Liberian lawmakers not to delay to legislate the courts because only they have the power to do so, as stated in the Constitution.
They have to begin to take steps now in the legislature to legislate this thing so that they can move on to the executive branch of government.
Representative Westward Dennis, chair of the House Committee on Claims and Petition, who's been persuading some of her colleagues to sign the resolution, says the President's letter energizes their work.
The lack of support from the executive, which is the chief in charge, I believe it was one of the reasons of the stagnancy in the signatures. So with the willingness to support the TRC report, then I believe that a lot of people in the House going to stand for the resolution.
Grant Jida County Representative George Bode, one of 8 former warring faction leaders the TRC recommended for prosecution for gross human rights violations, including violations of international humanitarian law, international human rights law, war crimes, and economic crimes, seems ready to sign the resolution for the courts to come to prove his innocence.
For each time the issue of war crimes court come about, you feel very infurious, become very emotional.
I don't get emotional when I don't know what you mean by emotional.
What is your position with regards to this work record?
The sooner it gets there, the better for Liberia.
Are you right now for this work record?
The sooner the better.
Are you not afraid?
For what?
Your name is always in the corridor.
Bode was deported from the United States under the Child Soldiers Accountability Act, but he continues to deny his association with the rebel group, the Liberian Peace Council. He claims that he only headed a political group called the LPC that was separate from the rebel faction that fought during the 1990s. Liberian National Bar Association President Councillor Teron Gonglo says a bill drafted by a special committee of the bar for War and Economic Crimes Codes is undergoing the second review. Councillor Gonglo, also a long-time human rights advocate, says the bar is seeking for an internationally backed war crimes code that must be based in Liberia.
I strongly believe and this is the view of many lawyers, I believe majority of the lawyers, that a tribunal established and functioning in Liberia would be in the better interest of Liberia in terms of fighting impunity.
I'm at the Waterside General Market in Monrovia, popular of many ordinary Liberians. Many of them sell rice, pepper and oil just to make a living. There are mixed views here about the establishment of a war crimes court for Liberia. These marketers are also divided over the possibility of the court providing them jobs or improving the economic conditions.
They be there yet. Because this coming still get long time. This coming still get long time. They get plenty of things on our head to do. So for them bringing that one in now, it will not be easy. Then I think the poverty rate will go more high. More high.
When they cook, if people start buying, things will change. My children will go better school.
Yeah, let them open the work around code. Let the people come so they can buy from us.
If they come and provide jobs for us, the people that are making the corruption in the country, and holding, so at time our country will be good.
Councillor Gonglo says the majority of Liberians who are afraid of a war crimes court are those who have blood on their hands.
I still maintain that the burden of fear that was being carried by the victim during the war has shifted to the perpetrators.
Councillor Gonglo, Mr. Bedeti, Representative Dennis, and other pro-war and economic crimes courts advocates say, with President Weah showing the much talked about political will, they will intensify their campaign to secure the required signatures from both houses of the legislature for the resolution and then ensure the legislation of the courts. This report was produced by Power TV in collaboration with New Narratives as part of the West Africa Justice Reporting Project. I'm Anthony Stevens reporting.